vortex. I'm doing what I said I was gonna do. I'm going to that fucking picnic. And I am following somebody. I'm just on the 5-0. Can you feel like my hesitance? Can you feel my concern? Because I know that technically I'm doing something illegal. Technically. Why do people put giant political signs in a yard? Why do they do that? And why do they put giant political signs in like some random grassy knoll? As if somebody's gonna see that and go, oh, I'm glad that was there. I'm glad I saw that. I'm glad that caught my eye. How could it not? I guess maybe I'll press the button again. I guess I'll participate in this satanic ritual that makes me feel important. It's that special time of year. You know that it is. I'm really proud of the fact that people don't know like what my politics are though, because I keep getting messages from both Republicans and Democrats. I'm assuming it would be way worse if I had a smartphone. But since I have a flip phone, I get some of them, but I definitely don't get as many as I would if I caved in. Thinking about how everybody is just given in to a lot of things that are really, really bad for them. And as easy as it is to like judge everybody in society for this, because it definitely affects me, I feel like I have a responsibility as a conscious outsider, you know? I'm not a sheep, so I tend to live in a pretty unconventional way. But you know, I go to church with a bunch of sheep. They're good sheep, you know? They're making babies because that's what they're supposed to do. And it's really beautiful to watch them grow up. And I'm happy they have that. And so it's like I want to do art that isn't just about like expressing my perspective, and a lot of my disdain for society is due to the fact that like a lot of good sheep have a much harder time raising their children. A lot of good sheep have a much harder time in keeping a business afloat. And it's like, you can blame capitalism all you want, but it's really like people that are giving these motherfuckers money, okay? So they're always relying on the bad sheep or the mediocre sheep, the goats. They're relying on the goats to keep their corporate slop continuing on, you know? Because people will always do like what's more convenient. And I think that this has definitely been highlighted as of late, you know? But I understand that like that's what people think is gonna make their life easier. Like if I just go along with all this technology, it'll be easier for me to do this, this, and this. But long term though, it's gonna make everything harder. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that, dude. Like, there's no denying it. Like, at first when Facebook came out, I remember, it really wasn't that long ago. I'm sorry, thelonious. It's my car. He's been through so much because of me. But yeah. Anytime you hear a sound that doesn't make sense, it's that little thelonious traveling along his little road here on the dashboard. He turned himself around. Anyway. So when Facebook came out, it was really cool at first because you could connect with a bunch of people. You could post stuff that just happened, you know. You get fucked up at a party, you don't remember it. There are plenty of people that have pictures of it, you know? And they put it online. But it was in like a photo album. And you could only see it if you were like friends with that person. So it was still innocent. Because it was in, it's like, you know, rudimentary stage. Okay. But I saw how pointless it was. Like, unnecessary, you know? Like, it was gonna replace our ability to just talk to each other in person, you know? I can understand if you can't do that. I can understand, like, if you are talking to somebody, you know, like, people that were friends in high school and then they end up going to different colleges and they still want to connect with each other and comment on each other's photos and contribute something to each other's lives, you know, like, I get that, but quickly I saw how that was like replacing, you know, regular ass communication. And I'll tell you a little story. This is a baby confession. Okay, I've abused the internet before. Okay, I have. Do you guys remember LiveJournal? Well, if you don't remember, or if you just don't know, LiveJournal, that's exactly how it sounds. It was a website. It was a place where you could go to like vent. And well, I guess it wasn't literally live. I'm pretty sure that's what you would label Twitch, or like that. What's going on now with the internet, where they're just, you know, filming things as they happen. That's way more of a literal LiveJournal. But LiveJournal, the website, well, it was a social network, I guess, something like that, where yeah, you would post stuff, like it was a place where you could blog or whatever. And so I used it for that purpose. And I remember this one time I was mad at this dude that I was friends with, who lived right up the hall from me. And I posted something mean because I was mad at him. And I didn't have that emotional maturity. Also, I was on antidepressants. I really believe that like a lot of the bad decisions that I made, like if I look at the timing of it, I'm like, oh yeah, I was on antidepressants. Because like I typically like don't get impulsive like that and say mean things about people. You know, that's just not my style. I mean, that's why I'm so turned off by social media, or social networking rather. That's why it revolts me, because, you know, it's basically like making people feel less inhibited. So it's a lot like alcohol. And so people are just saying really fucked up shit that they don't have to take any responsibility for, and nobody's really holding them accountable, because it's a learned behavior that so many people have learned, and they don't even feel guilty about it, you know? Well, my friend and I had gotten into an argument about music, because I used to be a stupid liberal that cared about that sort of thing. I thought that music was so important. Like, if you had bad taste in music, you were just fucking stupid, you know? It couldn't be that you just had different tastes than I did. It was like, no, you're just stupid. Well, yeah, we got into this huge argument about music, and I put up a scathing review of this argument on LiveJournal. Because I was treating LiveJournal like it was like Yelp, but for like my friendships. Like, so I was reviewing my friendships, and yeah, he pissed me off. And so I said all this shit, and he sent me a message, and it was like, we couldn't just talk about this? Like, you felt the need to just like say this in a blog? It's like, I get that I pissed you off, but like, that's just really immature or whatever. And he was right. He was totally right. And so immediately when he confronted me about the whole thing, I like walked up the hall, knocked on his dorm room, and I talked to him for over an hour about the whole thing. You know, so I don't like being a bad person. I don't like being a shitty person. I don't like being immature. That being said, I also don't like being belittled. So if somebody's gonna belittle me, I don't really have anything to say to that. You know? like, when my friend called me out and was like, yeah, that's really immature. I knew that he was right, and from that point on, well, I think I just got off LiveJournal, but like from that point on though, I haven't done anything like that. I haven't just like used the internet to talk shit about people. So if I have something to say, you know, I'll say it straight to your face unless I feel like we can't communicate. So anyway, that was my baby confession about me abusing the internet. And see, it's fucking raining, dude. It's raining. We're just gonna be stuck under that pavilion. Okay, the kids don't care. They don't care, they're still playing. They don't give a fuck. They're children. Children don't care that it's raining. I want to show y'all this. I'm so proud of it. I was told that if you leave the avocado seed in, it will help it stay fresh. You know how to shoot a video?
Video what?
I'm shooting a video right now.
Oh, yeah. Showing off. Yeah, sorry about that accidental right, but, you know.
No, I was wondering. I was like, okay, I'm not the only one that
yeah, it is that easy.
Confused.
Yeah, it's that easy to mess up. It is.
Okay.
Yeah. But we still made better time than last year.
That's true. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll meet you out there. I won't interrupt you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have like bags. Usually I have bags of stuff, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna take this over there. I'm gonna take like a quarter of my house. Like I have this backpack. I usually have you know, a smaller bag. Cause like I write jokes and stuff, so like I always keep like a notebook. At least 5 pens. This Orthodox study Bible, you know. I guess I could just take this backpack. It's just kind of cumbersome. Whatever. Yeah, that's my friend Eric. He's the one that I inspired. Like when he saw me in the church, he was like, I can become Orthodox too. If that crazy bitch gets in, I can get into. And so can you, okay? You can have this stash of holy bread too, you know? Anyway. Yeah, so don't think that I'm above, like, behaving badly, all because I don't use the internet in the same way that so many people do. I mean, that's why I know it's bad. Like, that's why, because, like, I'm not the type of person to, like, gossip and trash people online, and yet I still did that, you know? And Facebook, during its original phase, like, I used to get so drunk and just go on Facebook and cry. And when I went to a treatment center, like, well, my parents yanked me out of school because I told them I was going to party my way out of it. And that's exactly what I did because I didn't want to fucking be there, you know? But I still made a lot of friends when I was there. And after I left and they put me in rehab, I got out and I would go back on Facebook and try to connect with those people. And it just wasn't the same, you know? Because I wasn't there anymore. And it just made me want to drink. So I didn't want to be on Facebook anyway. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to stay sober. And that's bullshit. Like, sobriety is not contingent on whether or not you use a social network. But at the same time, like, why would you want to be on a social network sober? You know? Why would you do that? Because I feel like what I was saying earlier in the video about how it's like making people act like they're intoxicated, you know? And so it's having a really terrible effect on people's psyche if it's making them like say things that they don't even remember saying, not take any responsibility for what they said, even though they can prove that they said it. Even, well, I guess you could like delete a comment or something, but some of them you can't delete. So I know I probably seem like out of my mind because of the stuff I put on the internet, but the whole point of this is kind of to, you know, provide evidence that I'm a human being. And, you know, I am fucked up. That's why I need God's help. That's why I joined the church, so I could commune with God. And I mean, I already was doing that. I don't think the only way to truly commune with God is to get the holy bread and, you know, do all this stuff. But I know why I'm doing it. The difference between the rituals that I participate in, involving my religion, and the rituals that my country participates in, is that I would argue that most of these people like have no idea why they do the stuff that they do. You know, and Eric and I were just talking about like the rituals involved in America and like the Pledge of Allegiance and all that, and how people just recite words and they don't even know what they mean, and they participate in rituals involving holidays and rituals involving like remembrance, like we're supposed to remember certain things. And the fact that like never forget is something that needs to be said about a terrorist attack that was pretty unforgettable. I mean, did they say that because they knew that smartphones were going to come out as a result? Oh, shit. I just hit his car. Shh. I'll tell him. I'll tell him what I did. Okay. It's not bad. I do that all the time where I'll just like, because my door is huge. It's really heavy. And so anytime I open it, it like has a tendency to whack the car next to me. But it wasn't a major whack, it was a minor whack, okay? Anyway. Yeah, like I want to do things that allow me to be a better person. I don't want to do things that make it harder for me to be a better person. And there's way too much of a false reward in being on a social network. And I mean, the fact that people want to doom scroll the fact that people get some sort of weird enjoyment out of that. Like, everything is so twisted now, and I think the whole point of it is to, like, prove how easy it is to manipulate people, how easy it is to completely warp everybody's sense of reality and their sense of well-being and their sense of, like, right and wrong, you know? Easier than easy. Just get them to participate in a ritual that they don't even understand. They don't even know why they're doing it. And, yeah. You got them. You got them in the palm of your hand. Especially when you can control what's in the palm of their hand.